So the last few days have been really strange. So I feel like I should explain some of this. I realized that as a psychic medium and energy worker and all this weird shit I do is pretty normal to me, but I don't I don't know how many other people um, understand it or um, get the same information as I do. So I'm going to share it. Oh, the last couple days have been very full of ends and beginnings. Not for me personally, but um, for, I'm going to say the world, because I don't feel like it's universal. I feel like it's the world. Um, snowed today. Snowed a lot today here in Edmonton. And that's what got me thinking about it. I know that snow brings information to the planet. It's encoded information. A lot of things given to us, and information is given to us on Earth that is encoded. And it takes a certain kind of person or listener to receive the messages. Um, so the messages in snow that came today are not just for the people in the area. Um, they just come in snow and other forms too, um, and fall to the planets. The energy is spread throughout the globe, and those who can decipher it will receive that information. Um, with today's snowfall, I'm not exactly sure how much of it is information as it seems to be more instructions on what to do and how to do things. I think a lot of it is pertaining to the violence happening in the Middle East. Um, these poor people are going through hell and need the world's focused attention. Um, how can you help? Same way that we can all help. Good thoughts, prayers, love. Sending that um, helpful intent is the first and easiest thing that we can do. And it's important. It's so important. I know people talk about the power of prayer, and it's very similar to that. But it's easier. You don't actually have to pray. It's literally just thinking good thoughts and directing it towards the Middle East and helping the innocent that are being killed and wounded and families that are being torn apart. We have the power to stop it. We have the collective consciousness to eradicate violence. And we have to do that. We have to do that today. Uh, so the information, I think, starts with that and seems to be going in a number of different directions. There seems to be a lot of information calling upon the world's leaders to move, and that's what I get very clearly is to move. I don't know if it's move in a direction or move something, or the people who are intended to receive that information will receive it. And I know that because it happens all the time. So I have faith in that. The last few days for me personally have been strange because I have been doing so much more fighting, fighting, um, fighting demons and fighting negative energies and changing and fighting for people and fighting to benefit people in another dimension, in other dimensions, in other worlds. And all of this happens usually in my sleep. Sometimes I do it intentionally in my awakening consciousness. I find it easier to do when I do in my sleep. It's kind of always been that way. there seems to be a rise of demonic energy and activity happening lately, and I just like my insides get all tight, and I just like get antsy, and I almost get itchy on the inside because of all of the demonic energy that's happening. And where do I have to go out? And I have to defeat them and put them back where they belong and save people. It's one of the things I do best. It's one of my jobs here on Earth, to promote and evoke change and purify. And I guess in some respects you could call it exorcism or depossessions or something along that nature. For me, it just looks a little bit differently than your Catholic priest or your shaman. For me, it's just a different way, different style. Effective, depending on the strength of the demonic energy. It's usually effective, short, like easier, and effective sooner, but stronger, older demons takes longer. One of them that I've been fighting against is it's a big old bad one. So I don't imagine that I'll have too many restful sleeps, probably for years to come. But that's what I do, and that's part of my calling, and I love doing it. So if I can help people that way, then yeah, I'm going to do it. So that's just what's going on in my life. And, I went out tonight just to 7-Eleven to grab some snacks. And I haven't decided if it's like the life-changing pinnacle moment, like the rock bottom of my sugar addiction, or if it's some sort of eye-opening moment that leads me to some sort of new direction and learning. I probably both, to be honest. It's probably both. I'll just tell you shortly. I went to 7-Eleven, grab some snacks. Sorry, there's just a couple energies buzzing about. So, grabbed some snacks. There was a guy there, Indigenous fella, a younger, good-looking guy. Very apparently high on something. And it's funny because I wasn't scared of him at all. But he was agitated, so the only thing going through my mind was, oh, I hope he doesn't hit me. Just don't hit me because I don't want to get hit. I don't like pain. I just don't. I don't know, it's going to set him off. But yeah, so I wasn't afraid of him. I was afraid of pain. Because, yeah, I'm a big chicken and a big wuss. Anyway, the more I talked to him, I ended up talking to him for about 40 minutes. And his spirit came across very strongly, just pain. And he talked about his brother dying, and he talked about his friend dying. And this guy was just in such pain, right? It was heartbreaking, and the human side of me was just terrified he's going to punch me because he was stoned. And it's just ridiculous because I think, well, stoned people don't just randomly punch people, but I don't know. In my mind, it's the only thing that did not want to happen. I did not want to feel pain physically. Anyway, the long and short of it is, my sugar addiction took me to a place that I think this guy just really needed someone to talk to. And I don't understand it. I don't know how he did it, but he knew. He knew that I go between the worlds. He knew that I'm not only from this dimension. And he just kept saying stuff like, "Well, where are you from?" So I said, "Edmonton." And he's like, "No, I thought you were from heaven." And I was like, "Nope, north side." And he's like, "No, that doesn't make sense. Like what dimension are you from?" And I was like, "This one." So anyway, I know people are like, yeah, he was high. Your perceptions are skewed and stuff, but no, it didn't seem like that at all. Um, I know high because I've worked with and been around a lot of people my entire life that are high, who've been on drugs, like all sorts of drugs. Um, and that wasn't it. That wasn't it. I think he was just as much of a spirit walker as I am, and I can't help but wonder why we were intended to cross paths. I mean, every time you cross paths with somebody, it's for mutual benefit, mutual gain. So I hope I helped him. Um, I hope I gave him what he needed, and I seem to have. I mean, he seems to be okay. Um, but is it just that, you know, part of my job here on Earth is to um, just connect with random strangers, or is it like the message here? Is it more, Tammy, your sugar addiction took you out into downtown Edmonton and in the middle of the night. It's not the smartest thing. This is your wake up call. Don't do it. And get a handle on this addiction. Like, is that the message in it for me? I'm going to take it as that. I'm going to take it as, yeah, you need to get a handle on this. And I'm also taking it as a huge eye opening experience because this man was so hurt, so hurting inside, and so profoundly good. He was such a good person. I I know he didn't do good things because he had so many scars and burn marks, and you could tell that his body had been hurt a lot, a lot. And his response and his reaction to some of the things we were talking about, you could tell that he didn't believe he was a good person. And yeah, I'm sure he made some poor choices. I'm sure he did a lot of things that he's not proud of and that aren't kind, nice things. But the love in his heart was just so, it just kept hitting me so hard. He's such a good guy. He's such a good person. And he was so grateful to Creator for everything that he'd been given. And he said that. He says, I'm grateful to Creator for everything that he's given me and everything that I have. Uh, it was, I know it doesn't seem profound, but it really was. And the way that everything's happening in these last few days, everything that's coming together, I'm not sure that there's a huge change coming, but there's, it feels like an awakening. The words that they give me are awakening. I don't know if it's a world awakening, but it feels um, very straight. Like like most awakenings or big changes and stuff that are happening or come, I can see it and it looks big and it's all encompassing. But this one, I see it. It just looks like the horizon. When you look out into the land, it's just like thin and flat, straight, just like a horizon. but it's kind of dark brown. The aura color of it is kind of a dark brown, and it kind of becomes lighter as it goes up a little, but it's not very thick. The band is not very thick. I can't wait to see what happens and becomes of this. Uh, Thanks for listening. I will keep you abreast of everything that happens from all this weirdness. Let me know in the comments below what kind of strange things have been happening for you. Um, there's been a lot of energies walking around here on Earth. So let me know what's going on for you. Take care.